Hi, good afternoon. This is Chris. I'm with No Boundaries Marketing Group. We are going to go through a little presentation we created today here for small businesses, and this is all in response to the COVID-19 issues that many of us are experiencing right now. So this is a part of a bigger series here that we're putting together to, again, help small business kind of get through this tough time. We're going to cover topics in the future from PR to SEO, websites, social media, you name it. So this particular session is going to be on keeping in contact with your clients, and I hope you enjoy. So the first thing that we're going to cover today is what to expect out of this session. So today we're going to cover topics like email marketing, Google My Business, websites, online listings. Really, obviously, nobody really prepared for this. We've been through, several crises now, 2008 housing bubble, so on and so forth. But, this one hit hard and it hit fast. And, with the government order to shut down local businesses, that's really kind of put people in a really bad spot. Again, they had no way to really prepare for what was coming. Now we've adopted a whole new way of doing business. Businesses are going virtual. E-commerce has jumped through the roof. So there's so many things that businesses have done to adapt. Really what we're doing is hopefully going to share some best practices, share some insights that maybe will help you and your business out. And if you have any questions at any point, feel free to give our office a call. Our number is 602-377-7773. If at any point you have any questions, again, advice is free. We can go through your specific situation, offer you some tips, so on and so forth. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this here. So for most businesses, the thought of a government-ordered shutdown obviously was unthinkable. It hit, like I said before, it hit hard, it hit fast. And, the reality is we did it because protecting people is the bigger picture, if you will. As a business owner, without clients, we have no business to begin with. So self-care, protecting our clients is an absolute must. So while the order is temporary, if you don't act responsibly, the effects can be long-lasting. That's a really powerful statement there because, again, when we talk about acting responsibly, every decision that we make needs to be done with care. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. So most importantly, don't panic. It's obviously it's difficult to rationalize, what's happening. It's obviously for the greater good, but it is temporary. Things will get back to normal. This is a small blip. When we look back at 2008, yes, that was a horrible decline. A lot of people were affected by that. So by no means am I minimizing what took place, but we recovered. And that's the important part to consider is that, we saw, amazing growth in the economy since then. So, having that hope, having that knowledge that we will recover from this, the economy will get back on track, really should help put some minds at ease. But again, I understand more so than most that, as a small business owner myself, this is a challenging time. So the important things to remember, do not make irrational decisions based on emotion. I have seen countless times where businesses will come in and they will make just drastic decisions to all of a sudden lay off all their employees, only to figure out, oh, well, they can adapt their business model to just change things around. And now you got to go hire them all back and hope that that talent that you had already trained and ready to go is still available. Don't get sucked into the negativity. It's easy. When you look on social media, every third or fourth post seemingly is of something negative going on or some doom and gloom scenario. And it's important to understand, you got to get your facts from the right places. Social media, sadly, and where some places are, yes, credible and they're, good, when you're listening to other people and you're seeing their posts and all these conspiracy theories and, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and just remind yourself, don't get sucked into that negativity. Educate yourself on issues so that you can communicate effectively with your staff and your clients. That's a really, really, really important point because, again, your staff are an extension of you, which is an extension of your business. When we look at the big picture, for me, I wouldn't want my staff communicating anything about COVID-19. We're not experts on it. We may know marketing, but we are by no means experts on COVID-19. So I wouldn't want my staff communicating anything about that. So it's important that I set those expectations ahead of time. Also, too, encourage them and encourage yourself. You should be educating yourself on the facts related to this. We've seen countless things come out in the last few weeks about, martial law, this and that. All of this stuff was drummed up by people who thrive on fear and chaos. Take things from the sources. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then lastly, align yourself with positive influences and people who can help your business grow. There are so many good things that have come out of this, epidemic or pandemic, excuse me. Again, not to minimize what's going on out there, but when we look at how people have really truly come together and you see the inspiring moments that are making a difference in this world, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help if you just ask. So when you see those people out there, we have a really great story. One of our very good clients, him and his wife, they got together and his wife found this a movement on social media. Long story short, it was about helping senior citizens with food and groceries because, again, they're our vulnerable at-risk population. And, they banded together. He used his business to accept donations and all sorts of stuff so that he could give back, or they rather could give back to the community. It's completely selfless. And so when you look at stuff like that, there's a lot of great examples out there like that. And I encourage you, get together with those people. Don't be afraid to reach out. I can tell you on a given day, I see 5 or 10 really amazing things. And if nothing else, I just reach out to these people and say, hey, thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for being amazing. Thanks for being awesome. Those type of inspiring words, don't come easy. When you see somebody doing something that, for the greater good with no expectation of anything in return, it's pretty awesome. So again, that inspiration is really what I use to, encourage others to keep going, align yourself with positive influences. And again, they help my business grow. So moving forward here, resources. We're going to talk a lot today about getting resources from trusted sources. When you look at what's going on out there, social media, has a variety of things. You see articles, blogs, all sorts of sources that claim to have, up-to-date information. But the truth is, a lot of this stuff is just opinion out there. It's people giving their insight as to what they feel is going on, and that's not fact, that's opinion. When we look at this, there are a few trusted sources that I encourage the business community to reach out to, and it's going to start with your local chambers of commerce. We live here in Surprise, and I know, the Surprise Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Southwest Valley Chamber of Commerce, Glendale Chamber of Commerce, Peoria Chamber of Commerce, all of these chambers that are here in the West Valley, all have amazing information on their websites. And this is all vetted information. This is all information that come from a much higher authority than them. But again, it's all disseminated down to help the business community. There's no opinion in there. There's only resources. And so I encourage you, get past all the garbage that's out there online and find things out from the source. Another great resource, Small Business Association, the SBA, Small Business Administration, the SBA, or even small business associations. These are phenomenal resources out there that can provide a ton of information. SBDC, National Federation of Independent Businesses, official industry or trade publications, and even your federal, state, and local government. A lot of local governments have started up small websites to help their business communities out. So again, it's just a matter of finding those reputable sources and run them with those. Even the SBDC, I encourage people to look into those because they have local counselors in local markets that, again, if you're a face-to-face kind of business and you don't do well with, virtual sessions and stuff like that, you can reach out to them and see if they still have people available and when you can get in to see them. Because, again, a lot of great resources with the SBDC. But the idea behind all this and where this all kind of gets to is communication. So we stress educating yourself as a business owner for one reason. Misinformation can create a nightmare for you in the long run. That's just the reality. when somebody like yourself, your staff, when they have bad information and you're disseminating that amongst your clients, at the end, the truth will prevail. It's not something you want to play around with. And again, you're not saying anybody's doing anything malicious, but when it comes down to understanding the facts behind things, facts go much further than opinion. And again, we all have opinions, our staff have opinions, but when it comes to business, let's leave opinion out of this. Let's stick to the basics. You and your staff are on the front lines every day. The conversation is going to come up sooner or later, and if it doesn't, a dozen times a day already. And when people ask you, how are you affected by everything that's going on? Have you lost people? Have you this? Have you that? I mean, honestly, none of their business, but, they're trying to strike up conversation. Genuinely, your clients are concerned for your well-being as a business owner. They're doing business with you for a reason. The response that you guys provide, and I stress this, it can be a night and day difference, whether it's positive or negative, and how that customer perceives what you said, again, can be a game changer for you in the long run. I was a part of a seminar where I was listening to an example that was given, and the example that they gave was, a client walks in, they ask a very similar question to that, how's your business been affected? And the business owner went off on how, everything's doom and gloom, and he doesn't know, this or that. He was going to open up a second location, so on and so forth, but doesn't know if that's going to go through or not. Again, it's an emotional reply, and we all understand that, everybody has a bad day. But what's the perception of that client? They're going to walk out of there thinking those doors are closing. When the reality is, maybe next week, something turns around, whatever the case may be, and that second location opens and this and that. But here, that one client walked away thinking, nope, they're closing, and they tell 10 other people, and then those people tell other people, and you can see how misinformation goes viral and it gets out of control. The flip side to that is the positive energy does the same thing. And so you really, really, really want to make sure that you're getting the right message across, so that when you or your clients talk to, you or your staff, talk to potential clients, that you're communicating the right message and the right tone with the right energy. I mean, business must go on. The solution is really simple. Just take time to learn. There's all sorts of seminars that are going on constantly right now. And with all this added free time that many of us have, it's not a bad idea to hop on 1 or 2 a week, take a couple hours out of your schedule, and educate yourself on this. Again, depending on your industry, I can tell you from marketing, we have about 25 of these a day, and that's only what I subscribe to. And I'm sure there's tens of thousands of seminars just like this every single day. But within your industry, a lot of the times there are the same type of recordings, webinars, sessions that you can attend to educate yourself on what's going on, learn some best practices, and really help avoid this, the downfall that a lot of businesses are experiencing, or at least minimize it as much as you can. But every crisis is also a chance to earn the trust and credibility of your customers, your community, and your family. We're all in this together, and I know that kind of gets said a lot, and maybe is a coined little phrase, but that's the truth. We're all in this together, and you know what? I know my wife and I, we look at how unfortunate it is we can't go eat at our local restaurant. I mean, how privileged are we to even have that opportunity in the first place? But you know what? I mean, it stinks right now. Yeah, you can't go have a drink at the bar. Yeah, you can't, grab dinner with your family. You got to bring it home. And so, I mean, there's some creature comforts that have been lost, but, those businesses, you rely on them. You rely on their families, their, everything. So we're all in this together. And so we can't stop. We've got to keep going forward. So on that communication, this is kind of plays into what we were just talking about. People are craving the normalcy right now. Help provide that. With restaurants limited to takeout, retail stores are obviously closing or have limited hours. They're going to e-commerce. They're going to pickups or drop-off. There's so many opportunities out there to still keep doing business with other businesses that we all need to lend our hand. Again, help share and shed light on some of those stories out there, some of those warm-hearted little things that are going on. time to up your customer service game. Really take this opportunity to do something to better your business. Again, I know it's very easy to get sucked into that whole, negative, you're going downhill, you're not seeing the sales, so on and so forth. But there's two ways to take that. You can go negative, or you can try to do something about it. And again, I give 100% every day. So that's exactly what we've done. We've actually increased our marketing spend for ourselves as a company. We've increased our staffing to provide better customer service to our clients. These are all things, again, not every business maybe has the ability to do, but I know within each of us, we have the ability to do certain things. So, now's the time to do that. Once you have this, I also encourage businesses, you need to write down your game plan. You really need to write it down. I say that twice because it's important to write it down. A lot of businesses that I talk with, I'll ask them, the first question is, okay, what have you done? What's your game plan to mitigate potential loss? And they'll tell me a few things, but you can tell it's off the cuff, and sometimes that might be the greatest thing in the world. But the reality is, if you don't write it down, it probably won't happen. More so than that, it makes it very difficult to communicate to others what that game plan is. So again, if you're a solopreneur and you're by yourself, okay, well, maybe that's okay for you. But chances are, if you have staff, you have other people helping you, you have vendors, you have, whatever the situation is, you need to write it down to make sure everybody's on the same page. Again, back to that whole thing about staff members communicating the right thing. It is so important that your staff understand how to communicate with your clients. You don't get a second shot at this. If you have a staff member that goes rogue and says something they shouldn't, we've all been there before. But if that happens, you seldom get a second shot at that. And, unfortunately, there's just too many opportunities. There's too many other businesses out there that, can maybe do something similar to you. So, again, don't leave that up for grabs. Make sure that your staff, your clients, everybody knows what's going on with the business. The other thing to emphasize here is consumer spending didn't stop. And in fact, we use a lot of tools to determine what web traffic looks like around, different industries, verticals, so on and so forth. And the fact is, search traffic is still going strong. People are still looking for certain things. Now, sadly, if you're, one of our in the travel industry, there definitely are some industries that are affected and their traffic is floored out. And so this doesn't necessarily apply to every industry, but the vast majority of our service-based businesses, our retail, people are still searching for, things that they want. Amazon's doing fantastic last time I heard, but small businesses aren't. Why is that? People are still searching. People still need these products and services. They're just choosing to turn to a platform that can provide it to them relatively easily. And so again, this is an opportunity for small business to step up and say, hey, I'm still here, and here's how you do business with me. If you poll, you'll find that clients would prefer to do business with small businesses over big corporations. And that's a fact. So, the challenge is most businesses they just don't understand how to get that message out. And so hopefully we can, again, clarify a little bit of that today here as well. So what do you communicate to consumers? So a couple of suggestions, and I think the important thing to understand here is consistency. If you're going to communicate anything at all, please make sure it's consistent across the board. You don't want to tell one set of, staff members that, you're doing this, and another one gets that, or you don't want to post on one business platform that you're doing this when you're doing that, so on and so forth. So consistency is super, super, super important. Understand that there's no template for this. If you go online and you try to search for some type of statement, to put on your bit, believe me, I've done it. I just wanted to see what came out of it. They're there. But the fact is, that's not unique. That's not personal to your business, and people see right through that. I know I saw through it the minute I read it. I'm like, oh, that would be horrible if a business actually used that. Sadly, a lot of them are. But here's some recommendations. Think intuitively about this. Ask yourself, how are you doing business now? Has anything changed? Do you guys offer a delivery option? Do you guys offer, what do you guys offer? A really inspiring small business that's here in the Surprise area is To My Surprise Shuttle. And I got to give Tom, this is not a solicited plug by any means. I've just, happened to come across it, found out what he was doing, and really thought that that was fantastic. But again, so Tom at To My Surprise Shuttle saw the challenges. People aren't traveling. He runs an airport shuttle from Surprise to the airport. Kind of a tough gig to have right now. And so what did he do? Instead of putting his drivers out, instead of closing up shop and just saying, forget it, he's doing food delivery. Why not? You have drivers, you have vehicles. There's plenty of opportunity to deliver things. So again, he's thinking outside the box. So how have you changed how you do business? Think about that. What changes have you implemented about COVID, about the virus? A lot of businesses, and again, silver lining for me, I love it that people are washing door handles, wiping down rails, so on and so forth. I think that's beautiful. But again, what safety precautions have you done to keep your clients safe? Those are all important things to consider. People are looking for that stuff right now. If you have a particular product, again, if you're a paper towel distributor, do you have a limited supply of products? Sometimes, scarcity is a driver. Look at how many stores sell out of all things toilet paper. Come on. But, scarcity of product sometimes drives sales. But in this instance, it's really about setting the right expectation. If you only have a limited amount of something, setting that expectation ahead of time so that people don't get all the way to your place of business and realize, oops, you can't get what you want. That'll save a lot of frustration. Other things are, did you change your hours? Again, nothing more frustrating to a consumer that in this difficult time, they go out on a limb, they try to utilize your product or your service only to find out you're not open because you've temporarily changed your hours. So again, make sure that you're communicating this. And last thing is going to be coupons and discounts. Did you change your pricing model? Are you offering maybe some additional incentives? Do you have free delivery, so on and so forth? These are all really important messages that you might want to get across to consumers. So what do you communicate? Go into the negative here. So what we do not communicate are facts about the coronavirus unless you're qualified to do so. That's very, very important. We don't want to spread misinformation. So again, if you don't know, don't say anything. A large portion of our problem, again, misinformation. We have seen dozens of emails about how the virus is spreading, how there's this conspiracy here, how to take advantage of payroll protection program, this and that. So many emails, it's overwhelming. It's just ridiculous, quite honestly. Social posts, you name it, they're all over the place. So blah, blah, blah. None of these are accurate. They're designed to instill panic and fear in others, and we perpetuate this information. We're only creating a larger problem. So again, encourage business owners, your staff, everybody needs to educate themselves about what's going on, not to inform other people, but just to be able to hold that conversation and conduct business responsibly. So how do you communicate this? What platforms do we use? So target the places consumers are going to find business products and services. Your online presence speaks volumes about your business. So again, we preach this on a non-pandemic basis. Businesses need to take greater pride in their online presence. The example that I give is that a lot of business owners, they pour thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into their into their physical presence. A brick and mortar store, whatever the case may be. But again, wraps on vans, you name it. Businesses pour thousands and thousands of dollars into things. But yet, some reason, the online presence is something that lacks. You might build a templated website on some free platform, or you might not even create a Google My Business account. So this is where challenges come in. This is an opportunity for you to grow. This is an opportunity for you to make headway and help people understand, hey, I'm open, I'm still in business, and I want your business. So some priorities I encourage: Google My Business, Yelp, any of the social media platforms. Again, online listings, we'll talk a minute about that, and then your website. Again, first and foremost, your website. That's usually the first point of reference a consumer has, and let me tell you, I come across websites every single day that haven't been touched in years, and that's a crime. So moving on to Google My Business. So again, if you're not an avid Google My Business user, it is time to get on board. It's not going away. It's something that, again, even for our own business, we use every single day. But more so than that, now is the time to make sure that it's updated. It's, you add some pictures, just keep it up to date. That's really what we're going for here. Oftentimes, this is the first point of reference after the website or possibly before that a client has on your business. So if it says you're open 9 to 5, but really you're only open 12 to 2 because of, limited staffing hours, whatever the case may be, I'll tell you what, if you show up at 10 o'clock and nobody's there, hey, your Google My Business page said you were, but you're not. That's going to irritate some people. So put your best foot forward. Important functions of Google My Business. Again, you've got hours of operation. You can respond to people's reviews. So again, positive or negative, you need to be getting in there. You need to be updating your reviews. You need to thank people who took time out of their day to compliment you, just as you would if somebody said it face-to-face. Posts, that's another big one. Google, again, they've had many failed editions of social media. But again, Google My Business is something that's not going away, and so they added a posts feature several years ago. Easier to do from mobile, in my opinion, than other platforms. But again, you can go on there and do all this same stuff, and actually, to me, it's relatively easier. But if you prefer desktop, you can do all the same stuff on your desktop as well. But update products and services, add pictures or logos, create promotions, so on and so forth. Tons of opportunities. So jump in there. See what you can do, see how you can better your business. Some challenges that we've had recently. So Google went in and they did limit some of the features of Google My Business. They may continue to do this. They may not. It's all being done to protect small businesses. But again, it does limit some of the functionality. They also have a COVID-19 center, which allows you to place temporary closures, new operating hours. It allows you to highlight some of the features on how you're doing business now. And this is all a part of Google My Business. So again, if you're not logging in, you wouldn't know this, but now you do. So log into Google My Business and set some of these up to help people understand, hey, where you're at and what you can do. Online listings. This is some of those, if you've ever done those searches of your business name online, you found things like Hot Frog, City Search, Local.com, YellowPages.com. Again, it's not that you, me, or anybody else, has really used those a whole lot, but at some point in time, they get used, and believe it or not, some of them have larger references than others. So bottom line is, you need to update them. You need to make sure that that information is correct and consistent across the board. Just like you would Google My Business, all of these services have an ability to create your listing, update your listing, so on and so forth. It can be time consuming. We keep track of anywhere from 70 to 100 of them, some of the bigger players in the game. But again, there are literally thousands. Typically, when you update these, the big fish in the pond, the other ones fall in line. But, you need to get in there. If you haven't searched your business name, get in there and do that. If you need, we're offering free of charge, again, an online scan. We'll print them out for you or email it over to you. We'll show you all the listings, how you appear online. It'll even include a link to those profiles so that you can update them with ease. So that's our contribution here as well. If you need that help and you don't want to have to go do all the legwork, give our office a call. Again, no sales pitches, no pressure. We're just, hey, what do you need? Perfect. Run it, email it. Have a great day. Call us if you need us type thing. So again, make sure that your online presence is updated and accurate. Next up is going to be coupons and discounts. Seldom, so I'm going to be 100% honest here, I seldom advise my businesses to be that discount couponing firm. It really works for some industries, some verticals. It doesn't work for others. I'm not a fan of discounting my services. I think I'm worth every dollar. But the reality is, in this time, desperate times calls for desperate measures. So now might be that opportunity where you offer that coupon, you offer that discount. A lot of businesses, they tell me all the time, listen, we don't have the ability to offer discounts. Okay, so what else can you do? And you got to think outside the box. What else could you offer instead of a coupon, instead of a percentage off or $1 off? Maybe, and again, this is if your industry compliance approves this. There's a lot of tape, let's just say, on this, but let's just assume that maybe you can offer a $5 gift card to Starbucks for an appointment. Maybe you can offer some type of incentive to existing clients for referrals. There's all sorts of opportunity out there. Again, we just have to think outside the box on what you might be able to do to capture a little more business, if that makes sense. The other thing that coupons do is they actually, believe it or not, have an SEO value behind them. So again, we're not talking about just posting a little coupon to a page. What we're talking about is on the backside, there are a lot of coupon syndication sites out there, coupons.com, so on and so forth. These all contain valuable backlinks to a website. So again, when we talk link building, and again, I'm nerding out on some people, but for a backlink for SEO value, there's actually a little SEO attribute here that might benefit your business as well. So again, these are just, opportunities here. And again, I put that little pro tip down there. There's a variety of websites that you can post your coupons to. So again, in addition, Google Posts, social media, so on and so forth. So lots of outlets, lots of opportunity with discounts. If you need help kind of understanding, which one's better, a lot of clients will ask, well, what do I offer? A percentage off or $1 off? Well, that all has to do with perception. Typically, if you tell me I'm going to get 5% off, well, that doesn't sound like much. And I'm not criticizing those businesses that's all they can afford to do. Hey, more power to you. But again, maybe 5% off is $100. Okay, well, that's a big difference. I'd go with $100 off because that sounds better to me. So again, just think that through. When you are doing these coupons, just think about percentage versus dollars, so on and so forth, and that'll help you out in the long run. Last but certainly not least, email marketing. So, it's something that some people love, some people hate. Again, I can tell you I'm not a fan of getting hundreds and hundreds a day, but sometimes it happens. But the reality is, email marketing has a wonderful penetration rate. And let's not forget, clients have to want to sign up for this. You can't just arbitrarily email somebody something anymore. The CAN-SPAM Act really does dictate how this all works. But the big picture is, clients sign up to receive your emails for a reason. Well, give them what they want. Don't be afraid to do that. Regardless of what your perception is, it works. I mean, it really does. Statistically speaking, $43 is your ROI for every dollar spent. So 43 to 1. There are few other marketing opportunities out there that produce that type of return. So again, take advantage. And if you haven't developed a list, you don't have an email marketing platform, we'll talk about that in a minute, but start today. Start reaching out. If you maybe have a list, but you never really got permission to email them, now is your time to start reaching out and just send a simple email out. You don't do it as a group, do it individually, but send an email over to that person to say, hey, I collected your email, back. And if you can specify. If not, I gathered your information a while ago and I wanted to see if it was okay to add you to our email marketing database. That way you have permission to do it and you don't get in trouble. Because I'll tell you what, if you do get in trouble, the fines are very, very, very steep. And believe me, they will catch you. So again, do your updates. The information that you're going to send out via email marketing is just the same as you've created. This is why we encourage businesses to write down their game plan. Because guess what? You're like 3/4 of the way there now. Now all we got to do is doll up the wording and make it sound a little more salesy, a little more professional maybe, and send it off. But again, the information that you're sending out is the same information that you've been updating this whole time. So it's nothing new. I tell clients all the time, keep it simple. Don't overthink things. When it sounds like some corporate marketer created it, chances are you're going to lose a few people. When it sounds genuine, man, that's rock star stuff. So moving on here to email marketing providers. We listed a few out here. MailChimp, they're typically the preferred. Not that I advocate for them. I don't really care what a business uses as long as they're using something, but explore them. Just do a simple Google search, free email marketing service provider, something like that. Do your research, investigate each platform. The important things to remember are how many people can you send emails out to and how many people can you have in a database. Some providers limit the number of people you can have in a database, while others limit the amount of emails you can send. Depending on which one it is, you'll need to figure out what works best for your business. And then again, you do get into paid versions, so on and so forth. And then again, I got a little pro tip down there again about that CAN-SPAM Act. I can't stress that enough. Protect yourself as a business. Do not fall victim to this, especially during this time. I know we're all struggling for business, but it's super, super important. You cannot text message people. You cannot email people as a business without their consent. So just make sure you follow the rules. If you don't believe me, Google search Can Spam Act and read all about it. It's a great bathroom reader if you have some time. So again, if you have any questions, this really wraps up our presentation for this. If you have questions, again, we're here to provide 100% honest, no sales pitch answers to questions. That's our commitment to our community. We're trying to make sure that businesses don't get scammed. We're trying to make sure that we can put our best foot forward as well. If we earn your business in the process, fantastic. And if not, hopefully we've educated you. But we do in-person consultations still. We are located in the Arizona Tech Accelerator in Surprise. So we have our address listed there, or just give us a call. Like I said, we're trying our best to, help out where we can. And so, we're all in this together. But if you have any questions, we look forward to hearing from you. Our number is 602-377-7773. And we hope you enjoyed this presentation. We will have another one here coming up in about a day or so, so stay tuned. And we'll be sharing these with the City of Surprise. So thank them for all they do as well. All of our elected officials, they're doing a great job and they're really working hard for us. So just make sure you drop them a line and let them know you appreciate them. So have a great day and thanks for your time.